one of the best ways to make money anywhere in the world is through real estate. And when I mean real estate, it covers everything from land to buildings and generally anything called money around where people live and what they do on land. So today, I'm going to show to you 6 ways you can make money on real estate, either as a beginner or as an investor. And I tell you this, I got to know this when I was a driver and I picked a man from the airport going to Asokoro. And then that was one of the best people in my life that really helped me to become what I had been today. It's not about the source of income. It's not about your daily income. What do you invest it on? Most people had lost their money because they want to invest on things that are destructible. And then at the end of it all, they lose the money. Not all businesses will survive the hurricane of a government changing the law. Not everybody will survive the hurricane of some evil things happening like fire, God forbid. Not every businesses can survive theft, for example. But once it comes to real estate, most of these events of life do not really affect it. Okay? And even if it affects it, it doesn't become this bad in terms of revenue. And I'm going to tell you 6 of what you can profit from if you deal in real estate. First one, let me say this for beginners who don't have anything, is one thing you look down on majorly, which is land flipping. You see, this is a zero cost for you to do only if you show interest and you go after it. Let me explain what land flipping is for you. All you have to do is to identify some people or someone who has lands and they want to sell. You know, the funniest thing, sometimes you don't even need them to want to sell. All you just need to know is the person that owns the land. Then you sprout into action. Without spending any money, any dollar, you can go ahead, and this works worldwide. In any country, there are lands everywhere in the world. You just need to identify and position yourself to get new buyers for these new lands. Let me tell you, if it's residential, most people who live in the opposite side of the state or country, they will prefer to live in this first choice place. So if you identify people who have some money on this other side, then just place the proposal for them. They will always show interest. And if the interest comes, you can flip and sell. Percentages is what you deal with. And you know, lands are not like phones. They are not like clothes. The cost is a little bit high depending on where you are at any moment. If you are flipping and you are getting something out of that, that's a lot. So you have to look into land flipping if you don't have money and you want to get started in real estate. That's a very solid way of getting started. My number 2 is something very close to this, and this is also for beginners, is real estate agency and development. This is splitted into 2, and I'm going to tell it to you. You don't have to be the owner of a house. I'm sure you are living in a house that somebody else rented for you. Most of the time we think it's not profitable because most of the people that do renters, they are not doing it well. You see, they just randomly, like you might have a barber who is also renting houses for people. Sometimes you have somebody who is a bricklayer and is also telling people, I have one house, 2 bedrooms somewhere. They are not really doing it well. If you focus on this and package it as your business, you will get into money. Millions of naira and dollars to be made depending on the country you live. And all you have to do is identify good houses that you can manage. You know, this is not just renting a house for someone, but also managing the house for them. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be easy, but most landlords don't have the patience to start running after people who are renting their places. So if you can be the guy that helps them out with that, then they will commission you. Apart from the fact that you can charge commissions on people who are renting houses from the beginning, and boy oh boy, these people are in large money. Nowadays, if you are looking for an apartment, before they take you to the apartment you have to pay some fee of them following you, which is incredible. And then I saw this. Some people will charge 10 different people, maybe 10,000, 20,000, just for them to look for a house for you. And they have already collected like salary equivalent, even when they are not the owner of the house. And most times they don't even do anything. Most of us are angry with them, but you can be the better version of this, where you give good tidings to everyone who is coming to look for a house. So real estate agency is something that brings money and can never go away. Every single day, new people are moving to a new state. They're looking for new accommodation. New landlords are also looking for people who will live in their houses. People are packing to their own house, hence vacancy. All of this, you can be the one running it full time, and you will make a lot of money from this. Now, before I go to my number 3, I told you about you managing a building or a project for someone. If you go into project management or house management, or let's just call it property management services, then you can also make a lot of money. There are block of flats in cities where they need guards. They need people to wash their cars. They need people to clean the compound and all of that. Most of the time, you can be the one in charge of that, and you place people there. You get paid just by managing the ecosystem of a house. You get paid by that. You can also manage tenants, because sometimes there are disputes between tenants. Why did you put your generator here? Why did you do this here? You come in and say, okay, if you're here, this is the gen. And that's the kind of job you do. It makes life easier. Most people are abroad. They have houses in Nigeria. Of course, most people are abroad. They are trying to build in Nigeria. Property management, project management, you can add it if you have experience about building, and all of this will make you money from real estate. I'm telling you, without you spending any money, all you need to do is reaching out to these guys that owns these houses, and you will be in real business. Now, if you have some money, which now takes me to my number 3, is for you to buy and hold. What I mean by buy and hold is every land, and I do this very well, every land has appreciation value. Now, if you buy a land, especially if you are buying from people who are willing to sell, like one-on-one, example, most people are jackpotting. About a few years ago, they've been jackpotting. They might have land somewhere, a land that costs 3-4 million, because somebody is under pressure and he wants to just move out of the country, he might sell it for 2 million. So if you buy that one immediately, that immediately alone had given you a profit of 100%, which means your 2 million is 4 million, even if you are going to sell tomorrow. Now, I said this prototype is for you to buy and hold. So once you buy, you hold it a while, or you can buy it, put it on the market at the premium value. Let me tell you, for those who are buying lands, for the real people who need the land, especially if you have a land in a choice area, they are not interested in the price, they just want the land. Remember, you buy land once and forever, your generations upon generations, they are the owner of that land. So most rich men don't worry about the price. That's why you see, you might be wondering, how did they sell this land 80 million? The owner doesn't care about the millions. He has more millions, but doesn't have more lands. So especially in a choice area. So once you can afford to start buying, don't worry if it is in a public place. If you are 40 years old, even if you buy and hold for the next 20 years, you are 60, you can then sell. The place that is called Bush today, in 20 years, will be the largest city ever in this world. So you see, it's a good way of acquiring more wealth, buying and holding, and then you sell. And I guarantee to you, this will work majorly in cities, Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Asaba, all these cities, of course, especially state capitals. If you live in a state capital, you might not even live there. All you just need is to go there and make sure you get a genuine land, because that's another thing. If you buy lands that they will swindle you of your money, that's on you. Make sure you are not being swindled. Of course, if you need any support about that, Lagos, Abuja, just go to giant6.com, and then you can just go through it and fill all the forms there, contact them, and then they'll be there to support you and give you everything you need about lands and housing. Now, my number 4, if you want to make money from real estate, is what I call rental income. Either you like it or not, if you can build to rent, you will make profit. And I'm sure you might be thinking, no, I don't want to rent for people. Tenants don't pay on time. Yes, I'm not even asking you to go for that. There are 2 that I love and I will recommend. One is Airbnb, shortlet apartments, always working. And then 2, there are shops and stores. Shops, stores, and even churches, warehouses, those work, because people who are doing business, they really don't complain. But if you build a rented apartment for home use, family use, some of them might stall before they pay. Not like they won't pay, but they might stall. And if you are someone who doesn't have patience with your tenants, you might already get agitated. But one of the ways you can do in renters is, if you are renting with the short apartment and shortlet, Airbnb, it's always working, but it needs a little bit of investment. And if you can get positions, lands where you can build stores, shopping malls, shopping complexes, and warehouses or churches, of course, that will also work. I'm saving these last for the best, because in most cases you might have seen it online yourself, and I categorize these as real estate and social media. You realize you can do real estate photography, where you are just snapping houses, snapping interiors, snapping things for the use of houses, and promoting that. You can also open a whole channel, YouTube channel, for real estate, meaning you are going to be discussing everything about how to build a house, how to do this, all of these you are going to be discussing. I create content for Giant 6 on Giant 6. You can check them out on YouTube as well, and I create content for them about real estate. That is also one part you can also use to make money, because at the end of the day, you're going to monetize your YouTube and all of that, and you can get money from that. You can also blog about real estate. I have a real estate blog that all we discuss there is everything about real estate. And that's not only all. You can also do consultation and even training for as many people that wants to go into real estate, and that will be profitable for you as well. All of these I've told you, please look into it if you are struggling with some money, especially if you are struggling with offline money. You know, sometimes you might make money online and you want to diversify to offline. This is a perfect example. It's what I've done and works, and that's why I'm bringing it to you.